Suicide Squad is free on PlayStation less than a year after launch. So I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I wasn't planning on doing another video on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, just because I had did my video a few weeks back in regards to the season 3 character that they had released. I think it was Deadshot's daughter, and then when they came out with Deathstroke, I thought that was pretty cool, but I felt like it was probably a little bit too late, too little too late in that regard. And then I did the video last month in regards to them having, the game on sale for like $5 for the ultimate edition, and then it was like $3 just for the regular version. So I was kind of over it at that point. I was thinking like, all right, there isn't going to be really much anything else that we can go ahead and go over. But seeing this information right here, I thought it was actually pretty funny, so I figured it was something I can go ahead and go over, get some information on, and then kind of just give my thoughts as well as let you guys know what was going down with it. And it was one of those situations in the other videos I had kind of shown the Steam charts as to how the game was doing and everything in that regard. And I was actually surprised because once this game went on sale, it did have a big spike right here, as you can see, but it didn't take long for the game to actually start dying down. But at the same time, I am actually pretty surprised of how much like this player base has actually been able to keep steady. I would have thought it went right back down to kind of like the hundreds area like it is over here, but it's still in the thousands. And as you can see, 24 hours, it was a peak of 1206. So they're actually doing better than I thought they would have been. So I mean, kudos to them in that regard. But overall, as you guys can see, it is one of those situations where players are shortly falling back off and they're not really getting too much into it, just because from what I've heard and from what I've seen, the game looks very repetitive and it doesn't look like it'd be the most fun thing to play. So per usual, we'll go ahead and just go over the information here, go over the article, and then I'll give my thoughts as we go along. So Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will easily go down as one of 2024's biggest failures, and is probably only saved from picking up the grand prize thanks to Concord's self-destruction. It never really managed to pick up that many players upon launch, and the few that did try the game out very quickly tapped out as the months rolled by. Right now, it's barely played at all, despite a small resurgence recently. And, like I showed you guys. So, I mean, at the same time, it is, like I said, better than I thought it was going to be. So, at least they got that going for them. It was such a disaster that as soon as the game's promised year of free content was over, Rocksteady pulled the plug, but promised the release of an offline mode to make sure it's still playable for the foreseeable future. Less than a year after launch, you could grab Suicide Squad for less than a cup of coffee, and now you can grab it for absolutely nothing. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is already free on PlayStation Plus. And I don't know, man, that's pretty funny to me. I mean, it was kind of foreseen that the game was kind of dead when they had it at like a 95% discount. Like I said, with it being about $5 for the Ultimate Edition and then like $3 for just the regular one. But the fact that it's free now just really shows that, yeah, this game, it's not going to go any further. They're not going to have a big fan base really going any higher than what it already is. And they're not going to be bringing new players in no matter what they do as far as DLC or new characters in that regard. So at the same time, like, it is kind of sad because you're like, damn, that sucks for the developers and everything like that. But when you come out with a game like this that just kind of shits on the IP, it's not something that players want, and it's pretty disrespectful to the original characters of the main IP. You can't really expect much else. I don't know what exactly Warner Brothers was thinking when this game came out and they had all this stuff, in regards to them, like, kind of shitting on the superheroes and everything like that. I think they were thinking like, oh, fans won't mind it. But when you have things like Harley Quinn killing, Batman, you have Poison Ivy coming back as like a child, which was very weird. It's you or like, and then the other thing was like making Joker seem like a gay character. You really can't be too surprised when stuff like this happens. A lot of players are just, they're not for this type of stuff, and they're really done with a lot of it. So it's not too shocking at the end of the day. And then we'll go ahead and continue on. So it's pretty rare that you see recent releases hit PlayStation Plus, with most games choosing to make a deal with Sony at least a couple of years after launch, in an attempt to mop up any loose cash still on the table. Suicide Squad seems to be skipping all that though, and is included in the month's list of free titles alongside the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Ooh, I might actually get that Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. We'll see. As you might expect, Suicide Squad is getting a thorough roasting in the replies to PlayStation's announcement, with Twitter users calling developer Rocksteady cooked, and some even saying that they might actually skip the free games this month due to Suicide Squad's presence. God damn. So they won't even go for the other ones because of Suicide Squad being on that list, that's kind of funny if you ask me. You know you truly goofed when you can't even give away a game, which is true. And not only that you can't give the game away, but you're actually turning people off to the other games that are free because of it. That's wild. That's so funny though. Outside of that, it's mainly just people complaining about this month's lineup, and you can kind of understand it when Suicide Squad is the big get. You've even got some poking fun at PlayStation, asking them to include Concord and Battleborn. Remember that one? I don't remember Battleborn at all, so I don't even know what's going on with that one. In February's PlayStation lineup, what with Suicide Squad effectively being killed off later this month, not a great way to celebrate the start of 2025. And that's also wild because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I might be mistaken. I think Suicide Squad came out around January of last year. So the fact that it's pretty much been a year and it's already free to play, that's sad, but at the same time, it's an indication of where the gaming industry is headed and where gamers are really at as far as, not really caring for this type of stuff anymore and not being accepting of it. You know, with the economy being as bad as it is, there's lots of people out there that they're not going to spend money on something unless they know it's actually worth buying. And I feel like Suicide Squad was a prime example of that. If you're going to have a game that people don't like because of the story as well as the gameplay, they're not going to be spending their hard-earned cash onto that property. So hopefully this will be a lesson that Warner Brothers will take into consideration. They'll actually get smarter. I mean, Warner Brothers is a pretty stupid ass company though. They do a lot of dumb decisions. So I'm not really holding my breath in that regard. But who knows? Maybe it'll be something they can actually learn from and they can actually work on making, games that players actually want and players actually want to play. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you guys think that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is deserving of all the hate and the criticism it's getting? I personally do, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to think. So if you guys can leave your thoughts in the comments, if you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.